Big news out of Nebraska tonight, where Democrat John Ewing Jr. pulled off a stunning upset victory in the Omaha mayoral race, defeating three-term Republican incumbent Gene Stothert, flipping that seat from red to blue. This marks the first time that a Democrat has been elected mayor of Omaha since 2009, and Ewing will become the city's first black mayor when he takes office next month. Now, in terms of why this victory is so significant, Omaha is Nebraska's largest city, but it's in a deeply red state that Donald Trump won handily in 2024. Stothert was seeking a historic fourth term and had the advantages of the incumbency, name recognition, and significantly more campaign money than Ewing. In the April primary, she actually led Ewing by about 5 percentage points, but as we've seen so much throughout the country, Trump has dragged down the Republican Party like a human anchor, and this is the result. Hell, it's not even limited to our own country. If you are a conservative in the English-speaking world, chances are your tangential relationship to Donald Trump will mean that you're going to lose an election, as was the case in both Canada and Australia.
As I've been warning for months, America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. Never. But these are not idle threats. President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never ever happen.
When I say that there is no place on earth that you're safe from any affiliation from Trump, I'm not joking. And clearly Democrat John Ewing Jr. recognized as much because his campaign ran ads tying Stothert to Trump and his policies. Granted, Stothert tried to respond with the usual spate of culture war attacks, but it wasn't enough to undo the nationalization of this race and the baggage that it carried. Here's what that looked like.
Today, a lot of people in Omaha got a mailer against John Ewing, and it was anti-transgender, anti-LGBTQ. It was full of hate, transphobic, horrible stuff. I have a friend who knows Jean. He sent her a text message. Did you have anything to do with this mailer? She said, absolutely not. I don't even know who the Leadership Fund is. So I thought, well, you're lying because you don't send an Oppo mailer like this without the candidate knowing. Trust me. So I find buried in the internet the Omaha Leadership Fund, who this mailer came from, who Gene Stothert says she doesn't even know him. And I see there's one email address and it says omahaleadershipfund@gmail.com. It goes to info@genestothert.com. Explain to me how Omaha Leadership Fund@gmail.com goes to info@genestothert.com. That is just so weird. So Gene, I need help understanding. Are you or are you not attacking the queer community in Omaha, including children, because you know that John Ewing is going to win and that Omaha is ready for new leadership? Explain it, you liar!
Yeah, sounds about right for today's GOP. This victory in Omaha is just the latest in a string of Democratic special election upsets that we've seen just this year. A few weeks ago, the two Republican candidates in Florida's special elections underperformed by 16 points and 22 points from the party's 2024 margin. In Wisconsin, liberal Supreme Court Justice nominee Susan Crawford overperformed the 2024 presidential contest by 11 points en route to her victory in that race. In Pennsylvania, Democrats overperformed by 15 points and 17 points in two state legislative seats en route to victories there, one of which solidified Democratic control of the Pennsylvania State House, and the other of which, again, flipped a seat from red to blue. Across the U.S., of the more than 24 races held since Election Day, Democrats are seeing more than an 11-point swing to the left, with 3 of those races now seeing Democrats flip seats formerly held by Republicans. And if all of this feels remarkably similar to what we've seen in 2017, you'd be right. After Trump's shock victory back in 2016, Democrats immediately began outperforming expectations in special elections across the country. They flipped a state Senate seat in Delaware by 16 points. They won a state House seat in New Hampshire that had been in Republican control for 30 years. In Virginia, they came within a hair of taking control of the House of Delegates, picking up 15 seats when most analysts had predicted they'd gain maybe 5 or 6. And what happened after that? Well, the 2018 midterm saw Democrats flip 41 House seats by the biggest margin in modern American history and take back the majority for the first time in 8 years. Now, I'm not saying that history repeats itself exactly. Every cycle is different. Republicans have their own success stories from special elections. But these Democratic upsets should be setting off alarm bells for the GOP. They suggest that Democratic voters are energized and turning out, while Republicans may be complacent or demoralized. The GOP's problem right now is that while Trump won in 2024, his coattails were remarkably short. Republicans picked up less than 60 state legislative seats nationwide, a far cry from the hundreds that they'd gained in previous wave elections. They failed to establish new state government trifectas, and in some states, Democrats actually held their ground or gained seats despite Trump's victory at the top of the ticket. And now, just a few months into Trump's second term, we are seeing signs that the pendulum might already be swinging back. The president's approval rating is underwater, his trade war is causing economic chaos, the stock market is in turmoil, and Democratic candidates are finding ways to win in places where, frankly, they shouldn't even be competitive. Granted, it's still early, the 2026 midterms are more than a year away, but if I were a Republican strategist looking at the Omaha results and these other special elections, I'd be worried. History tells us that the president's party typically loses seats in the midterms, and these early indicators suggest that trend might hold true even after Trump's return to office. So for Democrats, the lesson here is clear. Don't write off any district in any state, run strong candidates with deep community ties, and keep the focus on delivering for working families. Bear in mind, too, Ewing didn't win by running away from being a Democrat. He embraced it, while also emphasizing his pragmatic, results-oriented approach to governing. The path back to a Democratic majority runs through districts just like Omaha, districts that are diverse, urban and suburban areas where voters may have split their tickets in 2024, but are open to supporting Democrats in 2026. And based on these special election results, that path is looking increasingly plausible. So while Republicans are taking a victory lap over their 2024 comeback, Democrats are quietly building momentum at the local level where they should. And if history is any guide here, that could translate into significant gains where voters head to the polls next November. In the meantime, congratulations to Mayor-elect John Ewing Jr. on his historic victory. These local elections matter enormously for the communities they serve, and in this case, the people of Omaha have chosen a new direction for their city, one that just might be a harbinger of a broader political change to come. I'll leave you with John Ewing Jr. learning the results from tonight's election. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.